Forward to this computer. All right. Hello and happy Tuesday. I am so pumped that you're here spending your evening with us for a hot second to get to learn more about our team, what we do, and how you can do it too. So if you don't know, my name is Brittany Kovacs. I am the founder, sole member, whatever you want to call it, of Team Empowered to Empower. I just officially opened my LLC 5 years into the business. So nothing like that has to be official. Some of my girls have team names for their teams, some don't, but mine is Empowered to Empower. You'll hear a little bit of my story here in a second and figure out why I came up with that name. My background is in childcare. I went to the Ohio State University. My degree is in human development and family studies. So never taught group fitness, never really was into exercise or health or wellness. I'm from a very small town. I was raised on vegetables coming from the pantry, and I ran a loop at the track to warm up for cheer practice. So no background in health and wellness whatsoever. I kind of stumbled upon Beachbody after trying some other things. I don't know if anyone can relate, but I did the gym memberships and the MyFitnessPal and the tracking my food, and I had really struggled with all or nothing mindset. I believe that our parents' generation, they're always on a diet. I don't know about you, but that's just how I was raised, blue collar, small town America. And I kind of grew up with that mindset. So I was always dieting down for a vacation, and then I gained 15 pounds on vacation, and it was just an endless cycle. So after college, I got kind of serious about health and wellness, I guess, but it was in the wrong way. Looking back, I really went all in. I was going to the gym before and after work. I was working several jobs. I had a nanny job. I was still at the child care center on campus a few days a week. I was serving and bartending at Dave & Buster's and going to the gym twice a day. It was absolutely bananas. So I decided to compete in a bikini competition, dieted down really hard, like I said, lost a lot of weight. And then I spiraled in this downward spiral of about a year and a half of really eating disorders. I was in therapy. I went to binge eating anonymous classes. Insert Jesus, that's when I found Jesus, in heading into my 23rd year of life. And I walked away from fitness entirely to really change my life. It was a very clear path in the road, your old life with all of these things, or cut out all of that stuff and follow Jesus. And so I walked away from health and wellness. I walked away from all of the women that were constantly talking about their body and what they were eating and what they didn't eat, or how what they ate was bad. And I really had to start fresh, and God provided incredible relationships to me and community. And I got married. I met my husband in that season. And then after our wedding, I was okay, I want to figure out what normal people fitness is. For the first time in my life, I just wanted to move my body in a way that felt good. I wanted to eat food that made me feel good, but also have beer and wings during the football game if I wanted to. And that is when I found Beachbody. I saw a girl that I went to high school with working out in her living room, getting results. And I was okay, I'm going to bite. What do you got for me? I tried 21-Day Fix and Shakeology. And a couple months later, I just knew that I was empowered and had to help other women on their journey feel empowered. So my mission is to help ladies discover their personal brand and build an online business from home by inspiring others through fitness, nutrition, and vulnerability. If you've been following me or any of the ladies speaking on the call tonight for any type of season, you know that our team is very passionate about the phrase, alone is a lie. We like to share our hard because God gives us these mountains to climb, and then we get to help others climb them. So that's why I coach. That is my heart behind what I do. I was just simply looking for balance in my life. I found it, and now I get to pay it forward. And make sure everyone's muted. Okay. And I am going to pass over the mic to a couple of our leaders. So you get to hear from not only me, maybe you follow me, maybe you don't. Maybe Whitney invited you, Erin, Kayla, Sheena, one of the other women on the call tonight. And I want you to hear from some other women who don't do this full time. This is my full-time job now. You'll hear more about my story in a little bit, but I was able to walk away from my nanny job after a couple years of coaching, and now I get to raise my babies full time. And I've always been raising other people's babies my whole life. And so it is my heart to help your dreams become a reality too. So I am going to find, unmute, and spotlight Miss Whitney Ward.
You guys hear me? Oh, I'm not looking at anyone.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Okay. I don't see anybody. Okay. My name is Whitney, like Brittany said. I I am married with 2 kids. I have a son who is 3 and a daughter who is 7, almost 8 months old. I have always been kind of in the fitness world, I guess. Like I always worked out. I was a cheerleader. And before I had kids, I taught group fitness classes and I loved it. It was great. But if anybody's taught group fitness classes before, it is a huge time commitment. You have to make the set, go to the place, teach the class, all that. So once I had my son, and I was working full time, it just was no longer a thing that actually like fit into my life. And so I like didn't really know what to do after that for fitness wise. And for that year and a half, it was kind of a weird time. I would try to like do something at home, but I used to hate at home workouts. I was like, this doesn't work. I was definitely not going to like pick him up from childcare, take him back to childcare to teach a class. And so I was in this weird spot where I just didn't know what I was going to do. So I had seen Beachbody around, here and there, just online. I had some friends that did it, some acquaintances. I knew Brittany through like mutual friends, acquaintances. And we were working on a huge renovation to our house where we had actually moved out. We had just had a miscarriage. We moved out. We were living with my grandparents. And I was like, you know what? Enough is enough. I was sitting at the kitchen table eating dinner with my grandparents. I was scrolling through Instagram and I was like, you know what? I'm going to try this Shaun T thing. I'm going to ask for information. And I like laugh about this when I think about it because it's so funny to me, even though I had this background in like fitness and I didn't like have really like weight to lose, but I was in this spot mentally that was kind of weird and it felt weird about my body from having the miscarriage. I felt super vulnerable, even just like clicking the little poll that's to say like I wanted more information. And I don't know, it was weird to me that I don't know, that just made me feel weird. And so I clicked the poll and I decided to get information. I decided to join. It was a Shaun T program, which a lot of us are doing Shaun T again right now. If anyone's ever done him, he's super inspirational. He'll really give you like bang for your buck, like 20-minute workouts. And I was like, if I don't have 20 minutes a day to work out for myself, for my like mental health, I've got some bigger problems in my life. So I committed. I did these workouts in my grandma's kitchen, in my grandma's backyard, in her bedroom, in the basement, everywhere. I did them all over her house, which was so funny, in the craziest, busiest season of my life. And I fell in love with it. I learned so much, I feel like, about myself. I healed from the miscarriage. I mean, obviously still, grief it takes a long time, but I felt like I was like starting to be myself again. And I started talking about it with friends because people were like, well, what are you doing now? And I'm like, oh, I'm doing this thing, Beachbody. I love it. And it's just worked out so great for me. And then I had Aubrey, my coach, my upline coach, she started asking me about, she's like, you should become a coach. And I was like, nope, don't have time for that. Definitely won't do that. And she asked me a few more times. And then I eventually decided to do it because I didn't want to, I had friends that were asking about it and I didn't want, I was like, well, if they're asking about it, I guess I could just sign up a friend here and there. And then fast forward to 2020, I was a dental hygienist working full time this whole time, but I had always had on my heart that like, hopefully at some point, had no idea how, at some point I would be able to stay home with my kids. God willing, more than one at that time. I had one. And my husband was even really supportive of it. He was like, yeah, just figure out what you want to do next. You can quit your dental hygiene job if you can figure it out. And I literally could never figure out what I wanted to do. And so pandemic hit and I thought I was going to be off for 2 weeks. And so I was like, I'm just going to like, dip my toe in this like coaching thing. And honestly, it was less about the money at that point for me, but more about like the community that I gained in 2020. And I could talk more about that later. But I fell in love with coaching. And so I ended up not going back to work after the pandemic and after my maternity leave with my daughter. And I am now a full-time stay-at-home mom and Beachbody coach. And so it's just brought me so many great things. And it's just been such a great journey for me. So
yes, I've absolutely loved watching all of these women grow. Every time everyone shares their story, I get so emotional because I've been the front line cheerleader through all of these moments, and I get to relive them as they share their story. So Erin Quinn, I should have introduced you, Whitney. I'm sorry. Let me introduce Erin. Erin, well, no, I'll just let you introduce yourself. I was going to say how we met and where you got started. I think I accidentally muted you again.
Oh, perfect. Here I am. I'm not going to ask. I believe everyone can hear me. If you can't hear me, tell me. Hello, I'm Erin Spear, formerly Erin Quinn. I heard that and I was like, is that my name? And I also am looking at this photo of myself when my hair was a lot blonder, and I can't wait to get it dyed on Thursday and get it all colored up in time for a retreat. But I'm Erin Spear. I'm from Long Island. I am married. I guess I'm not a newlywed anymore. I'm coming to that conclusion. I got married in September of 2018. And we're in the stages of a fixer-upper. So if you see our Home Depot prime door, that is what it is. It's not some special color like people ask. But I got started with Beachbody in February of 2018, one of the things I didn't write down in my notes. And just a little bit of backstory about me. I grew up in a small town. I am from a big area, but a small town. Our high school was 7th through 12th. It was always just very small classes. I think I graduated with 138 other people. And I always just had this longing to be myself and feeling uncomfortable with being myself. My entire life, I was always the tall girl. I was always standing in the back of the photos, the class photos, with all of the boys. I always just felt like maybe I laughed a little bit differently, talked a little bit differently, just never really felt a belonging when I was younger. Always just felt like I was being bullied, and just a lot of shame and guilt. And a lot of it was, body related as well. Like I said, I was super tall. In high school, I was definitely more chesty and endowed than other women, that I was graduating with. And I felt like that was always making me, feel kind of self-conscious. I was a gymnast and I'm 5'9", so that's an interesting one. And I just always felt very out of the loop. And I was surrounded, kind of like Brittany said, by this diet culture that our parents' generation created, where it was all or nothing. You're in a diet, you're out of a diet. There wasn't a healthy, and I love my parents to death and they were very well-rounded. I love food. My parents always said we had healthy appetites, but it was very much we ate a lot of canned vegetables. We were hearty eaters, and there was a lot of stigmas that were probably created in my parents' household, and it was probably given to them as well. And it became generational, the way that we talked about food, the way that we talked about weight, the way that we talked about exercise. My dad was a cop, and the only reason he exercised was because he was a cop. My mom didn't exercise, and she only started exercising when she became an empty nester, and it was something for her to do. So I had a really, really, really hard time with my body all throughout high school, went off to college, went to a very big college to escape that small town thing. And I was not getting, home cooked dinners every night by my parents, and the weight just started piling on. And honestly, it's one of those things where I wasn't seeing it daily, but then I was looking back at myself in photos from the weekend, because went to college during the time where you carried around a digital camera. Can anyone relate? And I would look back at the photos and I'd be like, oh, maybe that's just a bad angle. And it was starting to really dawn on me that I was putting on a lot of weight. I was having to buy new clothes, and I was drinking like a fish and just not making healthy choices in myself. Yes, the camera. I was that camera person in the friend group. And realizing that I was, not realizing really that I was just not making healthy choices, and being away from home and having that liberation, I took it obviously way too liberally. So I had a really hard time with my body in college and feeling different like everyone else. Why didn't those dresses fit me the way that somebody else did? All that different stuff. And then I got into a relationship and I gained a ton more weight. I like to call it love weight. And unfortunately, it was a really toxic relationship and a really abusive relationship. And my value in myself diminished incredibly. Any type of confidence I had built from getting away from my small town had been completely robbed of me by this person. He constantly talked about what I could do differently with my body. almost like passive aggressive comments about like, well, you can ask my sister about the diet she's on and things like that. And it was really hard on me mentally, and just the entire relationship was really hard on me mentally. And then my senior year, going into my senior year of college, I had a lot of doubts and fears about where the relationship was going, and we ended up breaking up. And he had a lot of mental health issues that I took on him as my own. I thought I could fix him. I thought I could save him. I'm a 3-wing too, so that helper in me was very much going to save him, even if we weren't together. And in turn, he ended up in a very bad drug situation, and I got jumped. And so going into my senior year, I think it was like September or October of my senior year of college, I basically got jumped by 3 girls that were involved with him, and I was a complete wreck. And so my self-worth had already been pretty low, and it just tanked completely. And the way I now look back at it, and almost sometimes talking about your story is almost therapeutic and cathartic because it makes you realize patterns and stuff like that. But my issue with weight in the past had really at that point become forefront of almost that revenge body term that people use, but in a really unhealthy self-medicating way. So I was not eating properly. I was starving myself. I was walking crazy amounts and not even really exercising to move my body, but exercising to make sure that the food I just eat didn't really process. I was going through binge eating where my friends and I would go to Wendy's and then we wouldn't eat, or I wouldn't eat for hours. And I got in this really, really unhealthy cycle of binge eating and self-medicating with alcohol, and then getting so hungover that I was vomiting, and it just became a very bad thing. I was in extensive therapy, and I look back and I'm like, wow, I'm so grateful that I had a great family friend group that kept me from dropping out of college that final year. So looking back on that, I went into my graduated college, and I was a better person by my second semester, but I was carrying around that guilt, that shame, and also carrying around this basic eating disorder, in the layman's terms. And I went home. I moved home after graduation, and I was like, I got to keep this weight off. Now, I had not lost any of it healthily in any stretch of the imagination, but I had this idea that I would just continue to eat like crap and in the way that I had, but I would run. And so I was running like crazy. And then that October, I realized that I would need to find a way to be outside without it being cold. And I joined a gym, and I kind of stuck with it, kind of fell off. I didn't really know how to properly use the gym, and I misused it in a way and was still on this bad cycle of how I was treating fitness and nutrition. And then I ended up that spring getting a new job, and I was working in New York City, and I was working long hours and traveling all over the world as an event planner. And one of the things that I completely noticed now in hindsight was that it was kind of cultural to in that environment to starve yourself and to survive on coffee and to complain about your weight, but then gorge yourself at midnight because you just got off an event. And I worked in a very as I said, I was bullied a lot, and so I worked in an environment that was like Mean Girls. If it was a corporate office, it would that was the way. If you could picture the high school version, that Mean Girls in corporate, that was it. And so there was a lot of backstabbing and talking about people's weight and things like that. And it really did a number on my self-confidence that was already low. And so I ended up, fast forward, leaving that job a couple of years later and still feeling very shameful, very guilty, feeling like I did not know what was wrong with my body, but I didn't like my body and I didn't like the way I looked, but I didn't have the tools or the resources to actually change it. When you Google, you get a million things, and diet culture is everywhere, and it's giving you the wrong things and the quick fixes, and everything just felt like it wasn't working. I tried MyFitnessPal, I tried Weight Watchers, but the piece that I was missing was the accountability. So right after I left that job, I thought for some reason I could be a FabFitFun influencer, story for another day. And I got put in an Instagram pod with Brittany, my coach, the founder of Empowered to Empower. And I I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. I started following her. We both ended up not continuing on with like this FabFitFun influencer program, but I continued to follow her. And one of the things that attracted me to keep like continuing and following her and having all that was that she was pregnant, extremely bubbly, extremely fun, and like you could just tell through her stories that she was always just like very happy to be alive. And I envied that because I felt like I was trudging through life with like no purpose, hatred for my body, lack of confidence, and it was just really, really hard for me. And I felt a lot of guilt and a lot of shame. And so I followed her for literally months. I followed her all throughout her first pregnancy. And then she was at a retreat, coincidentally, a retreat like the one she was just at. And it was January of 2018. And she had talked to, like, you know, she was posting videos, and I was super envious of all these women, the support group of women dancing and having fun and focusing on health and nutrition. And I was like, I just wish I had that. And she actually posted, could this be your tribe? And I was like, yes, I want that. And so almost like not even realizing that she would have possibly reached out to me, I voted, and she did, and she invited me, and then we went on this back and forth of like, I don't know if I can do this. I have a lot of insecurities. I told her my whole story. And she basically was like, I think this is what you need. And I was like, is it though? I don't think so. So I basically said no. And then about 10 minutes later, I was like, wait a minute, talk to my husband, talk to my best friend. And they were like, we think you need this too. It sounds like you were so hyped. So I ended up joining. And it was everything I needed. It was the accountability. It was the nutrition. It was the fitness. It was making things easy enough to process that actually gave me results, while also giving me a group of women that weren't going to tear me down, that weren't going to bully me, that weren't going to focus on my insecurities or comment or talk behind my back. It was a group of women and it felt like for the first time in my life, I was surrounded by a group of women who literally were just there to cheer me on. And it was incredible. And I got very into the group, got very into the community. I would consider myself a lifer. I loved it. I made a lot of friends. And I did have a lot of fears of how it would go. Brittany can tell you, I didn't at first think that the community was going to be for me, because I did have fears of being around groups of women and that possibility of like, are they going to talk about me? We all know those catty petty groups. I mean, there was a whole movie created about it. And so I kept following along. I kept, trying to interact. I kept having this great experience. And I watched a call later that year where a bunch of coaches, I signed up as a discount coach. That's a vital piece of information. And Brittany had hosted a call where a bunch of coaches that year were speaking out their goals for the following year. And I just happened to catch it and listen to it on my way to work. And I literally voice memoed Brittany crying. And I was like, I want to do this so bad, but I am so afraid of failing and insecurity and all that guilt and shame and all of those issues that I've been working so hard to fight are going to come back. And we talked and she was like, you need to do this. You need to help the women just like you. And so I planted my flag and I started the real coaching, like business building coaching, literally Christmas Eve of 2018. And I've been here ever since. And it's been the craziest couple of years of my life, but I literally have a very hard time remembering my life without Beachbody and coaching. And I was speaking about that with my husband earlier. And it is like the greatest thing that ever happened to me. And I hope that you see it and you join this community and feel that way too.
I'm not crying, you're crying. All right, we're going to hear from Sheena as well real quick.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I am using the laptop for Zoom for the first time. I always use my iPad, so bear with me. I'm Sheena. I'm from Southern California, totally opposite side of the United States from most of the girls on our team. And it's kind of funny because really without social media, I wouldn't even know anybody here. I wouldn't be on Brittany's team. And yeah, here we are. So a little backstory. I have two boys. I've been with my partner for almost 7 years now. We have two boys under 3, a 10-month-old and a 2.5-year-old. And growing up, I was a cheerleader and a dancer, and I'm a tall girl too. I'm 5'10". So I've always been the tall girl of the group, and I was the base as a cheerleader and all those things. But I work full time. So this is not my full-time job yet, but that is a goal of mine. I work full-time as a police dispatcher, weekend nights. So I work 12-hour shifts, and really trying to be like a normal person on my days off is quite interesting, but I do it. So how I got into Beachbody, kind of all my life, really been off and on of different diets. I've done calorie counting, I've done macros, weighing my food, eating the chicken and broccoli, all the things, right? And spending hours in the gym, had personal trainers several times. And I, like a lot of the ladies, I had the all or nothing mindset and thought that that's just how it had to be. I didn't think I could have a beer and pizza and be able to really lose weight. And so I struggled. Even though fitness has always been like a passion of mine, I just never knew how to have the balance. And I did back in the days when T25 came out and P90X and the DVDs. I had the DVDs and I had hip hop abs. Like I had it all, but like just here and there. And then I thought, oh, at home workouts, I can't do that. I can't stay motivated enough. I can't stay disciplined enough. I just only had to go to the gym, and that was it. So I, did all that, and about in 2018 is actually the last time I went to the gym, right before I got pregnant with my first son. I was wanting to stay healthy and work out during my pregnancy because I had lost a lot of weight. Actually, rewind a little bit more. When I turned 30, I said, I'm going to be the fittest that I've ever been. And I mean, I was pretty fit and healthy. However, I was spending like 2 hours in the gym a day. I had a personal trainer. My 30th birthday came and went, and then I went downhill. And I just slowly started to gain on more weight. And then I would do the off and on thing. So in 2018, I said, you know what? I want to get back in the gym. I want to be fit during my pregnancy. I don't want to gain a bunch of weight. So February of 2018, I started IVF, and I went to the gym, yet I never went back. And I did not work out at all my entire pregnancy. However, I honestly don't know how I came across Brittany. I don't remember what it was, but I just started following her while I was pregnant. And so after I had my son in November 2018, I was trying to figure out, like, how am I going to lose this weight? How am I going to like work out? There's no way I can go to the gym and take my baby to the gym, and I work nights, and it was just a mess. And so I decided that I would finally reach out to Brittany and ask her about Beachbody. And I said, okay, well, I'll just sign up as a discount coach, because I mean, who doesn't want a discount, right? You're going to buy the products anyways, might as well get the discount. And I was kind of secretly doing it, I guess you could say, on the side here and there, and I would share it with friends, but I didn't really want to put myself fully out there. And not until last year is when I decided to fully go all in. And I mean, I had, a fit community before that, and added some girls because I was just feeling like so much better. I was able to get into a routine working out at home, which I thought I never could. And, hey, I can roll out of bed and not even brush my teeth and work out. So, I mean, who doesn't want to do that? But I grew to love the community and, all of that. So I started to ask, friends and family if they were interested, and they were seeing my results. And so last year when I got pregnant with my second son, I really started to dial in and want to make this more, even though I'm not full-time a coach, but I wanted to invest in coaching more instead of just doing it here and there. Because at the end of the day, I mean, I don't want to work weekend nights for the rest of my life and miss out on so much of my baby's lives. And so, I want to bring in more ladies and get that community. As much as I love these ladies, I want to see you guys in person. I have yet to actually get to hug any of you, including Brittany. And so I hope that with, having this community and being able to take time off of work and paying, with my Beachbody income to go and do things, and one of the things that it actually has been paying for is my children's daycare. So that's been like so amazing, because even though I still have a full-time job, I'm not having to use that money for daycare. I'm not having to use that money for my gas, and gas prices in California is a whole nother story. But it's just, all those things. And then me feeling so good. I've lost 40 pounds. I'm able to change my mindset from all or nothing. Like I tell the girls in my fit community, have that beer, have that pizza, and drink your water, eat your veggies, and keep on going. So that's it.
They all have grace, and they all got started as a customer in common. And we all love Shanti also. Also a requirement around here. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, we are going to go through the rest of the details quickly because that's not bedtime. So let's chat about what we are not. We are not salespeople. We are not experts. None of us had a background in fitness or health and wellness. Whitney did teach some Group X classes, but none of us are experts. You absolutely do not need to know everything to be the accountability buddy. And really, that is our number one job, to take our journey seriously and be the accountability buddy for others. You don't need big muscles or abs or be at your goal weight or a certain body type. Erin hasn't, but most of us on our team have had babies. We've coached through pregnancy. We've coached through postpartum. We've coached through miscarriage. And we've coached through gaining weight and losing weight. We just, like I said in the first slide, show up vulnerably. And we are not a pyramid scheme. This is one of the questions that I got. Pyramid schemes are actually illegal. Pyramid schemes are when there is no trade of goods or services and you just sign people up. So when you join us, you're getting access to Beachbody On Demand. You're getting access to Shakeology or the Performance line, which is going to be Energize and Recover, and we'll cover that in a little bit if you're not our customers yet. But we are not a pyramid scheme. Those are illegal. Beachbody's been in business for 20 plus years. We are about to go public. So if you're into the stock market or your hubby is into trading stocks or Bitcoin or anything, have him look that up because it is about to be game changing. Me and my family have bought a bunch of stock. And we're really, really excited for that next chapter of our journey. So this is a little bit of our team. You can see us here in person at our last retreat. Our team mission is simply to lead ladies who are focused on their health and wellness and inspire others to join them on their own health and wellness. So there is nothing super complicated about what we do, but we do get to make an impact physically, mentally, and financially. We are doing important work. So what we do as coaches, we commit to our own goals. We share our journey with our friends and family and our social media followers. You can see all of us working out here with our babies. There's Whitney with little baby Ren in her belly. Erin and I at one of our, actually, that was the last event we had in person. Okay, July of 2019, Sheena with both of her boys in her living room, and then me and my big guy downstairs. So second, we connect and build relationships with others and invite them to join us on our online fitness community. We teach you the way. I am never, ever, ever going to ask you or mentor you to send a cold message. We've all gotten those. I don't do that on this team. We do not do that. I will teach you how to connect through vulnerability. And you heard every woman here how they joined was reaching out because they were inspired. They joined because of the way that I showed up, and I passively invited them and they joined me. Now we will teach you how to send invitations to people that have shown interest or engaged with a poll or some kind of thing, but I am never going to ask you to send 20 messages to your friends and family and beg them to join you or any of that kind of thing. We don't do that around here. I know that's a big hesitation when joining a company like this. Lastly, we aim to help just 3 people per month, less than 1 person per week, by connecting them with our products, programs, and online fit communities, and then support them on their journey. You are simply an accountability buddy, just a couple steps ahead of the women you are helping. One of my good friends, Patrice, spoke on our national wake-up call yesterday, which is something you'll have access to, and she shared that a lot of times people get anxious at the beginning about joining their team. They're building their team. They think that you have to have all of the things figured out, know the answers, be an expert in all of it. But honestly, it's less of let me lead you and more of let's do this together. You have all the resources at your fingertips. If you decide to join us, you are joining a top elite team. You have access to all of that. Google has all the things you'll ever need to know. Here's Sheena's most recent postpartum journey. We have Ashley Jones. She lives in Vegas. She's a leader on our team. She struggled with infertility for several years, and her husband are expecting their first baby. She got healthy and primed her body to be able to carry this baby. This is one of our leaders on our team, Miss Kelly. She's lost over 150 pounds. There's me with my second postpartum journey of my youngest, and this is one of my good friends, Cassie. She joined us. We grew up cheering together in the same small town. She's lost a ton of weight and is expecting her first baby as well. So we are a growing team. So I just want to quickly cover some of the things that you gain as a Team Beachbody coach. New friends, first and foremost. You heard each and every woman tonight speak about the community. For me, isolation was a big word that rung, Satan just took that word, and man, that was my word last year. Isolation. I felt so alone as an extrovert having my second baby in March of 2020, the pandemic. And these are the women that checked up on me, asked if I needed anything, brought me coffee, had play dates. These are the women. Erin and I have had so many heart-to-hearts. Erin is one of the sweetest individuals. She's always checking up on everyone. Sheena and I have had heart-to-hearts. Whitney and Maddie are local, and I get to see them on a regular basis. Travel, I just got back from Orlando. I have no voice because of the insane amount of fun that I had. I've got my tan going on. Typically pre-Rona, I get to travel every quarter from Beachbody, and some of those events are paid events where you can go at any rank, and then some of those are earned events. This past weekend, I was actually the guest speaker at an earned event, and that was super fun. Financial stability. You saw that Whitney now is able to work per diem. She just picks up a couple shifts here and there as needed when other people need time off, where she used to be a dental hygienist. Sheena has the vision to work from home or be at home with her babies full time. Erin, here's a picture of her and her husband. As she mentioned, they just bought their first home and they are completely gut renovating it. And she was able to buy him this amazing grill for his birthday with Beachbody money. And then also accountability. I always talk about the accountability of taking care of myself, because it's literally my job to keep myself a priority physically, emotionally, financially, spiritually. And I cannot help other women be their best version of themselves without taking care of myself first. So that has been a huge piece of my story as a coach as well. So how do we earn money as coaches? We coach others on their fitness journey, and then we invite others to be coaches along with us. So you get 25% commission straight up from the get-go on everything that is purchased through you. You'll have access to our system where we'll train you on creating a cart. If you've ever purchased anything, you've probably gotten a share a cart link from your coach. I'll walk you through how to use that right away. You won't have to worry about inventory or shipping. I don't have a stack full of Shakeology or Energize back here in my office. All of that is done for you. Super simple. The monthly fee for all of that is $15.95 a month, $15.95, and you save 25% on all of your products and programs. So let's say that you use Recover and Energize, or Hydrate and Energize, or Shakeology. You save 25% on those products. So you heard some of the women tonight say discount coaching. Some of them got signed up simply for the discount. So if you're on tonight, you're not 100% sure why you're here, what that tug was on your heart, or if you're listening to the recording, you can absolutely get started just for the discount. Spoiler alert, in a couple months, we are going to be launching something called Preferred Customer, where you can straight up be a discount customer, and you'll have that opportunity as well. The second way that we get paid is you can build a team. You can enroll coaches and join others, invite others to join you in helping their friends and their family, and have a vision. A lot of people on our team just help a handful of people, and that's absolutely fine. You can get started just for the discount. You can get started to help your sister-in-law and Sally across the street, or you can get started with a vision to be stay-at-home, create six-figure income, live that life of financial freedom, pay off your debt, those kind of things. The goal is in your court. The ball is in your court. The third way we get paid is Star Diamond Leadership Bonuses. So this is the next level. If you really want to take this thing, like I said, the sky is the limit. I remember when I was first exposed to network marketing, almost all of us have tried a network marketing company in the past. Drop in the chats if you've done something before. The makeup, the lipsticks, the candles, the leggings. We've all tried something before. But for me, I tried something before too. This opportunity and this product and program changed my life from the inside out. I was selling gas, electricity, home phone, direct TV before. I've bought nail polish from people before. I've bought mascara from people before. I buy leggings and sports bras from Zaya all the time, probably more than I need to. But I don't experience life change from that sports bra. I mean, maybe sometimes it makes me feel like I'm Beyonce, but let's be real. So anyways, I was first exposed to network marketing, and I saw women earning six figures and being home with their babies. And that was when the seed was planted for me. It wasn't with Beachbody, but that seed was planted. And then Beachbody came into my life, and I never looked back. I got started as a customer. I wanted nothing to do with coaching when I got started because I needed this as a customer. But most of you on this call, most of you watching this have been in our fit communities before. You've at least tried a DVD or Beachbody On Demand, or did the OG stolen copy of P90X or Insanity. You've been exposed to Beachbody. You're not a stranger to Beachbody. So quarterly diamond leadership bonuses, you can see here, Beachbody does not guarantee any level of success or income from the Team Beachbody Coach Opportunity, but my family has absolutely been blessed from this opportunity. I would not be sitting in this office. We would not have our cars paid off, our debt gone, if it weren't for Jesus bringing Beachbody into my life. So really, truly, this is when I typically would show you some of my income progressions. But with our company going public, we've really cracked down on compliance, and it's not fair for me to show you what I make today because it's not the average. Most network marketers join and they make a couple $100 and they pay for their product, and that is a-okay. But then there are people like me and Erin and Sheena and Whitney that see the bigger picture. We want a different life for our family. And I just want to let you know tonight that if that seed is in your heart, whether it be tomorrow or 6 months from now or 5 years from now, the sky is the limit with this opportunity. Beachbody does not guarantee any level of success. Again, the income disclaimer because I want to be super compliant. Okay, so most of you, like I said, are already in our fit communities. If you're not, you get started with you get started on your own journey first and foremost. That is our number one job as a coach, is to be a product of the product. Be on our own journey. Be drinking the Shakeology. Be pushing play on the workouts. One of the questions that came in tonight was actually, is it detrimental if you don't promote the products? And honestly, I'm not going to make my goals your goals, but you are not going to be able to build a six-figure business by not using and promoting the products. But if you just want to build a retail business, help people get started with their workouts alone, that is absolutely fine. You get paid $38 every time someone gets a Beachbody On Demand membership. That's pretty good income. So that's not my goal, but if that's what you want to do, I'm not going to tell you how to run your business. I'm going to mentor you. I'm going to give you the tools, and you're the CEO. You get to decide how you run your business. You get to decide if you want to do a text thread or a Facebook group or group me or use our Beachbody On Demand bod groups. You get the balls in your court. You really have the freedom to do whatever you want, set whatever goals you want. I'm just here to match your goals and meet you and mentor you on what you tell me you want mentored on. So that answers that question. We did have a couple more questions come in. Here's a couple more. Maddie normally speaks on our calls. She had a conflict tonight, but I see her popped on. She just couldn't get away from us. She has 3 under 3 and is creating an incredible income for her family with the Beachbody Coach Opportunity. So questions, concerns, I'm going to stop the screen share so I can see your beautiful faces as I answer these questions. A couple more that came on. Is it attainable to start with 2 littles at home? So you heard from several of the women tonight, we have little babies. When I got started, I had 0 babies. So I've built this business through my first pregnancy and puking all day, every day. I built this business while nannying full time and then bringing my baby with me to my nanny job and continuing to build my business. When he was 5 months old is when I was able to walk away from my nanny job and go full time with this business. Then I had another baby, and now I'm home full time with both my babies. So it's absolutely possible. Again, your goals are your goals. If you want to work this business a half hour in the morning and a half hour in the evening, or an hour in the morning before your babies wake up, or in 15-minute pockets like a lot of us do, because those are called our mommy pockets. Maddie said it's more than possible. She is the one that's home with 3 under 3. So she is letting you know it is more than possible to build a successful business with your pockets of time. Another question, is it possible to start with no following and grow a team or business? Yes, I believe Whitney, Sheena, Erin, a lot of the women on our team have started with 200 followers, 300 friends on Facebook, 100 friends on Facebook. Really, it just comes down to digging into who you want to help and then speaking to that woman. I mean, I know Whitney and Maddie in person. I would have never met Sheena had it wouldn't be for the Instagrams. Would have never met Erin if it weren't for the Instagrams. And we teach you those things. Those are the tangible things. It's less about the how and more about the who. There is a woman out there that needs to hear your story. And I get a lot of times like, isn't the Beachbody market saturated? No, not even close. Until I can go to the grocery store and not see someone that's overweight or full of chemical-filled things in their grocery cart, or the cardiovascular health and the moms that want to be able to run and keep up with their kids and jump on the trampoline and all those things. Until there is none of that in the world, my job is not done. And there is a woman out there that needs to hear my story, and it's going to be different than the person that Erin needs to help with her story. And it's going to be different than the person Maddie needs to help with her story. So no, you do not have to have a huge following. And I think I answered all the questions. Are there any more? I wanted to be done by 9:15. We were darn close. Maddie says she stays home with her babies, and coaching has given me a purpose outside of the raising them. Yes, one of our girls, Mallory, that sometimes speaks on these calls, she as well is home with the babies full time. And it's so easy for us extroverts. I'm an Enneagram 3 extrovert. I always knew that I wanted to have an income, but I also knew that I didn't want to pay somebody else to raise my babies, because that was where I came from. I was raising other people's babies. And sure, they were successful. They had nice houses. They traveled. They had Teslas and nice cars, but I was the one raising their babies. So I knew that I wanted to be with my babies, but I also knew that nannies don't make 6 figures and nannies don't have time freedom because they're the slave to somebody else's schedule, because they need you to be with their babies 45 hours a week. So I saw this vehicle and I saw the sky is the limit. And I knew that if other women had went before me and created the lifestyle that I wanted to live, then it was possible for me. So it's absolutely possible for you. Whatever your goals are, like I said, if you want to make $150 a month and cover your product, here for that. If you want to help a couple women here and there with just Beachbody On Demand, here for that. If you want to help 3 women per month, which is kind of the standard that I set for myself and the business builders getting started, here for that. If you really want to replace your income, be home with your babies, pay off debts, travel more, whatever it is on your heart tonight, this opportunity can be the answer to your prayers. So I'm going to close us in prayer and exit out of the recording so it's not too long. Thank you all for joining us tonight. We don't take it lightly. We are honored to be able to share our story with you each and every time anyone will listen. Whitney said, many of us were nervous to get started because we were afraid of what others would think. Don't let that stop you, for sure. Maddie said, no risk, all reward. I always like to say, what's the worst could happen? You make a couple friends, lose a couple pounds, and get in the best shape of your life. And the cancellation literally takes 5 seconds. So if you get started a couple months in, you're like, you know what? This ain't for me, which I'm going to wrap up with this and a prayer. I find that it is sometimes too easy to quit because God put this on your heart for a reason. So if you're on this call tonight and you decide to sign up as a coach, don't let this be the first thing that comes off your plate when life gets crazy, because life has gotten crazy for all of us. Miscarriages, divorce, moving, loss of job, gaining weight as a Beachbody coach. Oh no, yeah, it's happened to all of us before. And just God, I know that this is where I'm supposed to be because every day I get messages of life change and I know that I'm doing important work. But yeah, I'll leave it with that. Let's wrap it up. Dear God, thank you so much for the women that are watching this recording that hopped on and spent 45 minutes live with us tonight. Thank you for Whitney, Erin, and Sheena for sharing their stories, Lord. Thank you for guiding our words. We just pray over our businesses tonight and over these women, whether they decide to just stay in our circle as customers, know that they are loved, they are worthy to inspire. And if they decide to join our team, Lord, give them the confidence to walk in the purpose and the passion that you've called them for them and set apart for them. I just pray that everyone can have really good rest tonight and really good days tomorrow and go into having a great week. So thank you. Amen. We love you, Lord, and have a good night.